fantastic island day wherever in the world you are watching us right now. I'm Jason Salas, and I'm joined in the KUM News Zoom room right now for our Here's to Your Health segment by New Gen Physical Therapy Dr. Leonard Campos. Hopefully, Dr. Luan Nguyen is going to join us momentarily. Interesting topic we had last week, Doc. So first of all, I see you're on the road, and safely pulled over. So thanks for
yes.
Thanks for giving us a moment of your time while you are in transit. I wanted to kind of say, 2 weeks ago we talked about the services that you and your colleagues provide for young people. We talked about students, athletes, preventing injuries, dealing with maybe some of the sedentary things that young people have dealt with over the last year, being cooped up at home. And then last week, of course, we talked about some of the preventative health practices you have for our island's beloved Manamco, the elder generation. How much of your business load do you actually see kind of from the demographic in the middle?
Quite a lot actually in the middle. We do get our pediatrics with their pediatric department, and the Manamco is our largest growing population all over the world. Mm-hmm. So we do get a hefty amount of that population. But the everyday worker and the 9 to 5, 8 to 5 worker is a large population, as well as our vets. So we're seeing, it's nice. We're seeing a lot of people go back to work, but what I'm also seeing at the office that I want to bring up is a lot of neck and shoulder pain now, as people are settling into their work schedules. They're getting back to full days. They've been off for extended amount of time at home, working from their own workstations, and now they're having to get back into their workstation at work. And we're just seeing a lot of complaints of neck and shoulder pain, maybe some pain going to the arms and things like that.
Mm. Doc, are you a big proponent of like the standing desks? I mean, I knew they were all the rage, like starting with a couple years ago. You saw the Facebook ads like all over the place. One or two of my colleagues here at KUM actually bought some, and they said it was like a game changer for them. Is there any science to actually show that this actually can improve the quality of your life and of your physical self?
Yeah, so that's an interesting topic. Standing desk. Back in the 80s, probably they used to say sitting was the worst thing. So they came up with standing desk, and now in the 90s and 2000s, people are saying, well, standing is going to give you some back pain. Really, I think the issue is static positions, not moving is the issue. So what the standing desk allows you to do is to go from sitting to standing. So it allows you to move every hour and a half. So I think that's the big thing is we got to get moving. We're not meant to sit idly for 8 hours. Our body needs to move. That's how we keep our joints nice and happy, keep our body nice and happy and pain-free. Mm-hmm. So standing desk allows you to go from sitting to standing, just gives you a way to move. But not everyone can afford those. I have a nice one I got a while back. It's pretty heavy because I got it when it first came out, and I love it. But not everyone's going to be able to afford it realistically, and not everybody's employer will be able to buy it from them. So, there's a lot of easy things you could do right at your desk. Takes about 1 minute to 2 minutes just to get your neck moving, your shoulders moving, get you out of this flex seated position. That goes a long way as well. Mm-hmm. That's what we recommend about every hour to 2 hours to kind of move with some sort of exercise or stand up or sit down.
Okay. There are a ton of apps right now. Like I'm happily a Fitbit owner. I've had it for like 10 years now and everything like that. And I actually enabled a little feature that says, at least once every 60 minutes, it sends me like a little notification. It's like, hey, get up, move around, have 12 ounces, have a glass of water, hydrate, and everything like that. Those little things, they add up, and they actually have really improved my quality of life. I mean, I must say, as ridiculous as it sounds, like that little thing just nagging at me and everything like that has really made a difference in positive ways.
Hey, you see it all over. Even in our big healthcare systems, in our big medical hospitals, Kaiser Permanentes, all these big groups, they get messages every hour to get up, move, stretch, and it's built into the workflow. Mm-hmm. You see this in big corporations and the biotech companies in Silicon Valley. So, it really does make a big difference to move every hour. It keeps your body happy, and happy workers are usually very productive. So, yeah, it's good on the employer side to kind of promote that kind of culture in your company, and we really recommend it to everybody.
All right.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, I want to kind of capitalize on the fact that you are in your car right now, and it just hit me. I was like, how much of your of the patients that you currently see, or you have inquiries of people calling up New Gen, are people saying, not only is it like have the past couple of months been like a return to the workforce, as you said, but people are now in what we might consider on Guam to be gridlock. Even though we don't have like LA style traffic and everything like that, they're actually in their cars for longer than we've been accustomed to over the last year. Does that kind of like sitting nature, you have very limited movement, of course, when you're operating a car. Are you seeing any sort of people with afflictions because of that?
Yeah, when you sit in a car a lot, those individuals tend to complain a lot about a lower back pain, maybe some pain in the butt, like sciatica, maybe some neck pain. Mm-hmm. So you definitely see it. I find in my clients that really drive a lot, like maybe truck drivers and things like that, though, since we are smaller in size on the island, they're getting out of their trucks or their vehicles maybe every hour or so, every hour and a half, just because they get from A to B faster. Mm-hmm. Now, in a place like continental U.S. where you could drive for hours at end to your next location, that could definitely be a big issue. And when I worked in the mainland, we definitely had a lot of truck drivers and things like that. But the heavy equipment workers, you're right. They tend to come in with a lot of back pains and things like that from jumping up on the rigs, jumping off, and then sitting there for long times. We still recommend, move every hour to 2 hours. Last thing you want is your employees or you yourself to be out of work or not be able to work because of these things. It's not good for anybody in that situation. So that quick 1 minute to 2 minutes of just moving around, changing positions goes a long way to keeping productive and in your job, being able to perform for a longer time.
Okay. Now, I do want to ask you, Doc, if you can be maybe a little bit of a myth buster, because I know you're a doctor of physical therapy. I'm not sure about how much maybe chiropractic work or, if you collaborate or do referrals with your colleagues on that side of the medical spectrum. But for those of us who, like we're sitting at a desk for a long time, or we're in a car, or, we're in some sort of work environment where, we are sitting and, we may have that little shoulders and neck and backache and everything like that. Is it okay to, routinely pop our back, crack the neck, crack the knuckles and everything like that? Or do you kind of like shy away from that? Or is there something else we can do to get that relief?
Yeah, so great question on manipulations and popping joints and things like that. I get it quite a bit at the office. And, really when you're popping a joint or you're hearing that cavitation, as they call it, in reality, they've looked at this under X-ray, and you're creating a negative air pocket in the joint synovial fluid, and the sound is the collapse of it. So from a physical therapist standpoint, we would say you've shaken up all that juice in there, the fluid, and when you bathe the joint surfaces, it makes it feel good. It feels good. There's an analgesic effect. Mm-hmm. So there's nothing necessarily wrong with manipulating or cracking your knuckles. I would say I wouldn't do it at extreme because, before there used to be a lot of talk about how that might cause some arthritic changes in the fingers and things like that. But for the spine, for the most part, if it feels good and it's not hurting you, I don't really see anything too bad with it. But I always say, just like a massage makes you feel good, if you're not addressing the issue why you even needed the massage, then you're just always going to need a massage. You're always going to need to crack your neck, your back. So on my side, I go, well, why do we even need to feel like that? Maybe we should work on those issues. You can go ahead and do all these things, but let's remedy the issue, not just cover them up or band-aid them over.
Okay. And Doc, final question, because we it was announced by our friends over in the government now that to be eligible for the COVID-19 vaccine, you can now be 16 and up, and prior to that it was 40 and up. Of course, you know this, you're in healthcare, but maybe from your scope of work as a healthcare practitioner, from people kind of in that age demographic of 17 to 39, what should that crowd be doing just to make sure that they can have their body in tip-top shape, and they can call you when they need information, or they have a question about what they should do, but hopefully to avoid prolonged or repeated doctor's visits and everything like that, as we return to work and hopefully continue to get more to a normal way of life. What can that crowd do to just make sure that they're taking care of themselves?
Yeah, we always like to look at it from multiple approaches, and staying healthy, eating right, doing all the nutritional things are great. From a physical therapy standpoint, exercising, it helps to boost the immune system. So light exercise will do that. Getting out into the sun is great. It's great for the body. We need that as long as we don't have any other issues preventing that. But getting in the sun, fresh air, exercising, those are great ways to keep your body and your mind healthy. So that way you won't feel sick. You could be nice and healthy and do all the things you want. As far as vaccinations and things like that, I leave that up to our medical advice from all of our physicians out there. And then, we just want to remember things are always changing here. So we have to be mindful of that. But From physical therapy, we promote you to stay active, get outside, get some sunshine, and that usually and eat nutritionally. And that should keep you out of my office for a lot of things.
Well, I got to tell you, Doc. I mean, I completely agree with you that it is the trifecta of good health. You have mind, body, and spirit. And I may try and get myself in a good mindset, think positive, and there are health benefits to that. And I try and take care of myself, eat well, exercise. But it's also nice when I have like a friend like you, like a learned expert that I can just call on or shoot an email to, and you can just say, okay, in my expert medical opinion, this is what you might want to do, or no, you'll be just fine. So if people want to hit you up at a NewGen, how can they find you?
You can find us online at newgen.gu. That's our same for our Facebook and Instagram handle. If you have any questions about health, wellness, let us know. We set up all these programs for companies and individuals at work, so we can do the health coaching, group fitness, and all those things. We can work out with the employer or you personally. So we just want to keep you happy and healthy. Add some fun to your days, if you will.
All right.
So check us out at our website or our Facebook.
All right, doing a fantastic job of it. And Dr. Leonard Campos, we always appreciate the insight that you bring to the show. I'll let you get back to work because I know it is drive time right now, and I don't want you to be stuck in your car too much and wind up blaming like lumbar soreness on me.
Yeah, watch out for that traffic on Route A. It's pretty backed up over there if everyone's driving around.
Well, thank you. We didn't know he was going to get a bonus traffic report in this thing, too. So.
Hey, he's a man of many talents.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
All right, Doc.
I'll trade you for some of your Denancy.
Hey, did you record that?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Thanks,
I
Doc.
follow you guys. Don't worry.
All right, Doc, drive safe. We'll see you next week.
Appreciate it.
All right, you have a good one. Bye.
Right on.
Here's
hear that?
to
He
Your
wants my
Health
Denancy.
is presented by American Medical Center.
You have good Denancy. Can I just ask, right? Since we have the opportunity, what got you into the art
Really, Jay?
of Denancy making, and how long?
I like it hot.
No,
Who
but how
doesn't
long
like-
have you been into this?
It's been a few years.
Did you start when you were in your teens? Were you?
No, I didn't. I just started because I was like, I tried a Denancy that I didn't like, and I was like, man, I think I could make a Denancy, and then you just mess with it.
And was this like grandma's recipe, or you just
Nah.
completely of your own design?
I mean, it's not hard to figure out. It's just peppers and peppers. That's all I'm gonna tell you.
Nice. Well, you do.
But there's a lot of great Denancy makers out there, guys.
Yeah.
It's really cool. It's awesome because it's the Renaissance language, culture. It's also food, and so I love it when you go at any restaurant and they have Denancy.